So as you can see, we've done more than uphold our end. May I request that our compensation is at least put in our hands in case of more than a misstep before we go any further.
I already saved you all the trouble. Check your balances and information data logs. The list and money is there.
It's true. I checked the last second before this conversation started. I prefer not to interrupt, though.
A very kind thought. No harm done.
I second that. Durousis, since you mentioned trouble earlier, do you think it is possible to drill through the plates of the think tank? I assume it will easily disrupt all mechanical functions if its connections rely on power underground.
The Predestar is the massive battle cruiser which can travel through interstellar time and space at rapid speed. The Predestar was designed to be an elite foundation to many cruisers to come, and designed for additional upgrades as a potential future reference. Therefore, as it is nowhere near powerful as coming dreadnoughts that are currently in development between the regime, the Conformity, and Zakar. Current warships cannot withstand the Predestar due to this cruiser's Altanium C.9x5 Wantari Gen Z, a four-dimensional engine that is positioned in four small adjacent sections of the ship, which powers the cruiser's speed and reduces the weight effects, allowing its purpose to transmit all operational functions to all parts of the ship, rather than relying on one engine or four corners of a man-made vessel to stabilize their glides.
How much did this shit cost to make?
1,000,000 casualties of war.
So it's basically another warship as well.
One of its kind. The best in its class, especially now yet.
Now I can see why we all invested so much into this cruiser, even our enemies.
You shouldn't be so disappointed. At least not surprised. What other purpose would this ship be used for?
I don't mind scratching out the notion of usage for any ideal greater good, which meaning no longer a useful resource.
In human comprehension, if we were to drill 13 blocks north of here, where the think tank is positioned, the Predestar is 5 miles wide, which is 26,400 feet in horizontal length. If we were to tunnel penetrate using over 300,000 tons of the ship's steel, it would cause a mass catastrophic surface collapse, not only killing over thousands outside the delayed quarantine zone, but a mass structural collapse of industrial infrastructural designs within the metropolitan area, which will be beyond repair, let alone numerous lives lost.
Considering the complex material is made of minimalistic cheap substances, we would be looking at a crater.
The plan is to back the Predestar 10 miles south from here. After we allow an entrance of minimized theocratic foot soldiers on board the Predestar, we will self-launch ourselves into the think tank. Once we destroy it, we will have less than 45 minutes to depart from its perimeter, before the tank's destruction incinerates us or the Predestar's takeoff wipes us out in less than an instant.
You want to shoot us all out into an abyss of purgatory, to let in a murderous fleet. Don't you think that's a bit heroically stupid and suicidal?
If we would have went through with the attack on the base of the think tank earlier, the Predestar would have easily been detected. Your other human counterparts would have easily went along with the disclosure to the public, and the Predestar would have been easily torn apart. The Predestar was still in the process of being complete. Once the Predestar completes its reverse, it will ascend into a narrow flat surface area of the complex, creating a chain reaction with damaging property that is expendable, which is considered a minority of concern or less. A fiery wave noticed in that area will be discredited and shelved from the normality of the public, only another part of the gas leak. Basically, the plan is to disappear this ship into the clouds of the sky. Enough fire terrain will cover the ship and its passengers to achieve escape.
I'm surprised you don't want to annihilate a traffic blockade full of humans and ex-celestial casualties of war, just to demonstrate an invidious act of genocide to spread fear.
Humans in fear exceptional. Humans destroyed no. At least not yet. I need you all alive as well as the rest of Yondiga's regime does.
To teach all civilizations to use cruisers like these to be superiorly victorious against gunships which surface above us.
The Predestar would wipe out those gunships hovering above us without even using its turrets.
Disregarding what I said, you already know.
The E-Gnome located on level 5 is what they are after. Zakar has faith in it because it is of ex-celestial descent and will die to protect it. Alonso and the Antarini have a great history with it. The thing is, not only is it compromised, not only that reward I paid you all for was from the E-Gnome, but this E-Gnome is the final component to powering up this ship. Components that came from regime military labs, considered stolen, and I need those fleet soldiers to kill it before it regains consciousness and downloads informational viruses into this ship, destroying it, acting as a saboteur.
What happens if you kill it, and why are you telling me all this?
I will be excommunicated, considered as a rogue, declared as a mutineer to misdirect Saka and its foundation, disrespecting its eldership.
They think you're a young crazy hothead not to be trusted with certain decisions, especially with adult ones. What do you think will happen when it is discovered that humans went along with or at least knew of this conspiracy?
Considering the ship's communications are monitored when certain enemies are on board, they already have.
You just needed a witness to prove that you're not crazy, just by the discussion between the determined and the response.
Precisely.